America.
To help with the cost, the city offers eco-roof incentive programs to both new and existing buildings, whether it's commercial or residential. And if eligible, you can get up to $75 per square meter, and you too can have a garden in the sky. For the Weather Network, I'm Kasia Bodurka. But flooding is certainly occurring, and it could very well become worse before it gets any better. Kasia Bodurka with you here. Hello, and I hope you're enjoying your Saturday night. We've got clearing conditions for southern Ontario, even the Ottawa area, and then we have our next system rolling in for Monday afternoon. So enjoy tomorrow. It shouldn't be a bad day at all, even some sunshine in the forecast, but still below seasonal temperatures for most of us. Here's our next big weather maker, and that's just going to sit over Ontario for some time. Expect days upon days of rainy weather. Some days it could be a little on the heavier side. We'll get to that coming up throughout the show. We'll show you your 7-day forecast as well. But first, we want to take your attention to the Great Lakes. We are seeing way more ice coverage than we typically see at this time of year. We've even seen it go up in the past 24 to 48 hours because, of course, in northern Ontario, we had snow just yesterday or the day before. All right, for you in the Atlantic provinces, we're seeing another system roll in. So as one is departing, another one rolls in, and we have rain in the forecast for you. I wonder what the new kid reporters of the Weather Network would have to say about this video. They'd probably complain about the really windy conditions, or maybe they'd like it. And what about all that ice coverage we're seeing right there? This issued, or that video uploaded by Beverly. Thank you to Beverly for that. And unfortunately, still seeing some drizzle in this area in Newfoundland. That's going to be tapering off, and our next system rolls into the maritime provinces, mostly bringing us rain showers. But if you're in Miramichi and north of that, could be a mixing story for the next few days as well. We're talking about a 2-day story at least for this low pressure system. Meanwhile, in Ontario, we're dealing with flooding still. Flooding will have been evacuated both voluntarily and mandatorily. All right, meanwhile, for Ontario, we are seeing a clearing conditions, or a clearing trend, I should say. Ottawa Valley looking a little bit better for tomorrow, and then come Monday afternoon, we get more rain. Earth Week continues here on the Weather Network. The crowd goes wild, but not for this. Your yearly Gardiner Expressway cleanup is underway right now, and not a lot of us were too impressed by that. But of course we need this, especially in the springtime after the harsh winter. Kasia Bodurka with you here, almost late to work today because of that closure. I was on the 401 today for what seemed like forever. I should be fine tomorrow. It reopens at noon, by the way. Now, Monday morning, we're going to start to see some precipitation with this next low moving in. And this graphic, it may embellish just a little bit. This is based on a few models here, but you will note that a low pressure system will be well entrenched over Ontario for, well, a good few days. Some days could be on the heavier side, other days just more drizzly on and off showers, but really until your Thursday evening, we could be seeing those showers in Ontario. Most of the province will be affected. Through the overnight, here's what it's looking like temperature-wise, little on the chilly side, close to the freezing mark. Here's your next Earth Week tip. I want you to stay with us. Another Earth Week tip coming up right now.
Now, instead of buying a bunch of books, why don't you go to your local library and get them? And instead of throwing them out, you could always give them to a charity, a school, or lend them to a friend. And hey, why not try ebooks? And then you can save a treat.
For your quick...
True, those temperatures are in the mid to high teens. Glasgow, as well as Dublin, London, 17 degrees, but reputations come from somewhere. Rain in the forecast. Our next presentation of Unearthed begins in about 30 seconds, but first I want to talk to you about the rain that's moving into BC. If you haven't seen it yet, it's pushing in right now. Actually, we're seeing it on the radar. Not expecting a whole lot for you in Vancouver and Victoria, maybe less than 10 millimeters of rain, but if you're on the western edge of Van Island, 20 to 30 millimeters, and then it shouldn't be too bad beginning on Wednesday, or Tuesday, I should say. Meanwhile, for you in Saskatchewan, it's going to be a really wet day. Through Monday, through the weekend, I should say, into Tuesday, could be picking upwards of 50 millimeters of rain for some places. It looks like this across the country tomorrow, and Unearthed begins right now. In less than 40 seconds, unearthed fragile force continues. But first, let's talk about what the country's looking like as a whole on your Sunday. We have stormy conditions for the prairie provinces, and it's mostly in the form of rain for tomorrow, and that's going to be lingering for some time, and eventually that low is pushing into Ontario. Cooler conditions right across the eastern flank of the country, and it's going to be rainy for you along the BC coast on Sunday. Clearing up quite nicely on Monday, and then you're set up for a nice week along the BC coast, unsettled right across central parts of the country into Ontario as well. Breezy conditions for you in Atlantic Canada on Monday. All right, stay with us because Unearthed continues right now.
Ontario.
That's right. It was a gloomy kind of day in the city of Toronto. Well, much of southern Ontario yesterday, and I feel lucky. I was live outside in the morning. The morning happened to be beautiful, and then it was just downhill from there.
But we saw some sun and cloud in the city of Edmonton. And Kasia, there's a puppy you wanted to talk about in this video, I believe. There it is.
I think this is the cutest dog ever. And thank you for that video, I have to say. So we do have some active weather in the forecast. We did see some mixing in places like Edmonton and a lot of snow through the foothills of Alberta.
Now, all that moisture is turning into rain for Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Tuesday, Wednesday, it moves east into Ontario and Quebec. And for next weekend, Kasia, it's an Eastern Canada story. So everyone's getting a taste of that moisture.
That's right. And this low, it's pretty big there, as you can see, and it's just going to be lingering for a lot of us. So yeah, a lot of unsettled weather for most of us across the eastern flank of the country. It's also been active south of the border as well. We have video of with a lot of this low pressure system that we just showed you.
That's right. Severe weather season has started in the U.S., so parts of Arkansas, Tennessee, and Missouri for tomorrow. A moderate risk for severe weather. Then as we get into Monday, well, we could have southwestern Ontario into the mix for thunderstorms.
That's right, and we'll keep you posted with what's happening stateside as well. I know a lot of you have family there. We're also going to be sending out our active weather team. So storm hunter Mark Robinson, he's going to be going there with meteorologist Jacqueline Whittle very shortly. So we have a lot of interesting content coming up as well. We have a really interesting story online about tornadoes. Earth Week coming up as well.
My Eco Tip helps save energy and money. Keep your thermostat at 20 degrees because every degree warmer than that will increase your heating bill by 5%. If you get chilly, wear a sweater.
Kevin Yard was there live yesterday morning. I was kind of jealous of him. They have everything from sustainable cars, electrical cars, to really neat accessories, urban gardening, you name it. Meanwhile, yesterday when I was outside in the morning, chilly, but we reached a daytime high close to 10 degrees. By the way, that is so well below seasonal. We should be closer to 15 degrees. But meanwhile, Welland got up to 16. Not bad. They were under the influence of the warm front. Today was about 9 degrees in the same area. Tomorrow, a day kind of like today was sun and clouds though. The winds are on the increase because of another system that is moving into Ontario. It's going to be affecting most of us, and it's only north of the Nickel Belt where we could be seeing some mixing with this. Everybody else, it's a rainfall story. It could be heavier at times, but it's just going to linger for some time. Again, beginning Monday afternoon for a lot of us, well into your Thursday, so hanging on to your umbrellas, unfortunately. Meanwhile, it's been quite windy for you in Newfoundland, Labrador, Burgeo, 108 km/h winds on Friday, and you do have some active weather in the forecast for you as well. I want you to stay with us. Another Earth Week tip coming up right now.
Now, instead of buying a bunch of books, why don't you go to your local library and get them? And instead of throwing them out, you could always give them to a charity, a school, or lend them to a friend. And hey, why not try ebooks? And then you can save a treat.
For your